So welcome, founding Field Advisory Board member and Neumi Crown Diamond, Michael Firth.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Keith. It's funny being on the other side here as a presenter when someone else is controlling all the technology. So you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Keith. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome online. It is my pleasure to be the very first presenter that is presenting live on YouTube with Neumi. And this has been something you'll start to see every single week from some of our most trusted presenters around the world, as Neumi is growing in 67 countries with about 150,000. I was told 150,000 6 weeks ago, so it's probably closer to 160,000 now, going crazy around the world. Now, before I get into the presentation, I personally find that it's important that if I'm watching a presentation, I want to know a little bit about who's presenting and how do they qualify to talk on the topic. So my background was I'm from Australia, the beautiful Sunshine Coast, top end of Australia. I was in the mortgage industry as a national sales coach, looking after a few thousand mortgage brokers. Loved my job with a passion. Maybe type in yes if you love your job. Nothing wrong with loving a job. Some people love going to work in the morning, and I did. The only problem was I found this, and maybe you can relate. As I went up the corporate world and I got to, towards the top, I found I had amazing income, but I had zero life. I was married to the job. And my daughter was the one that came to me and just said, Dad, we hardly see you. And so I started to look for options. And someone contacted me about 16 years ago about a breakthrough in home-based business with a company that had a great glutathione breakthrough. So I got started with that, and I don't make ridiculous projections. None of this ridiculous, Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I just had the same sort of an income after a couple of years that you would earn in the corporate world, but without the hours of the corporate world, and I got my life back. So I was sold on home-based business from that day forward. Why do I share that story with you? Well, the founder of that company, who eventually went into retirement, was a gentleman by the name of Stephen K. Scott, who became a very close friend of mine. I'll talk about him in a minute. Steve went into retirement, and that company, that was the end of that. But he then had the biggest breakthrough of his life that he came out with, and that's the reason we're in here in Neumi in business today. So with that in mind, let's get into some slides. So basically, I want to cover off an income disclosure statement first. I'm going to touch on towards the very end of the presentation some different incomes, but there's no income guarantees, meaning it's an opportunity. Two people can work just as hard as each other, and one will get paid more than the other because one struck lucky, one did a bit more work, who knows? So results are going to vary, and that's important that there is no guarantee. It's not a job, okay? It's a great opportunity, probably the most lucrative opportunity of my life, and I'm 55. Let's talk about FDA disclaimer. Right around the world, FDA is valid in some countries. Other countries have their own FDAs and so forth. Well, our products have not been evaluated by the FDA because they are nutrition. So they're not expected or designed to be treating, curing, or preventing anything. In fact, you won't hear a disease name come out of the mouth of a Neumi member because that's not what our products are about. Having said that, our mission is to empower our members' lives in all areas of aspects of their lives. How do we do that? Through vision, innovation, and execution. Let's talk about vision. This is my beautiful friend, Steve Scott, I mentioned. If you don't know Steve, I'll guarantee you've been touched by him in some of the successes he's had around the world over the years. For example, Steve spent his whole life searching for breakthrough products and marketing them on TV. As a result, he was behind the Total Gym with billions in sales. Dealer Meal, Hair Care with Chef, so many more. One of the most respected people in direct response television. Now, Steve, his secret to success was he would only market what he terms as a breakthrough product. What's a breakthrough product? Something that can do something that no other product can do as economically or efficiently. And so he doesn't market anything. Can't be a gimmick. It has to be a breakthrough. He's also a best-selling author worldwide and has been for many, many decades. In fact, Steve went into retirement, and that's when I reached out to him, having been a friend for years, and said, what's going on? He said, well, I found a brand new breakthrough. It's probably the biggest of my entire life, and I'm looking for investors. And I said, is there anything I can do? And he said, well, yeah, if you want to help me find some investors, that'd be great. And that journey started 6 years ago, but only 2.5 years ago is when we actually launched Neumi. Then we brought in this amazing gentleman, Aaron Rennett. You can read his background on the screen there, but let me just pluck a few bits out. He took another company in this industry into 37 countries in 13 years. Why am I pointing that out? Well, in Neumi, in 2.5 years, he's taken us to 67 countries. And that's because he says he wants us to be the most field-driven, responsive company in the industry. Now, we also have a medical advisory board. I come from a background in the mortgage industry and sales and business. So I'm not a doctor, but hey, we have science and medical advisory board members that are they volunteer for free. They don't get paid 1 cent. In fact, I was presenting with one of them in the Gold Coast, Australia last night. And so the key here is, if you look at their backgrounds, these guys are the who's who of scientific knowledge relating to nutrition and glutathione. Let's just pluck a couple out. Top left-hand corner, Doug Harrington. He was behind the Stanford heart transplant team, where he also created a test called the pulse test, an early heart attack detection test, an absolute genius. These guys have all used every form of glutathione supplementation known to man. Gordon Crozier, another great, amazing gentleman. He wrote a book on glutathione. Dean Stubbs, shown on the screen there. That's the one I was presenting with here in the Gold Coast last night. And again, I'll say this to all of you, that these people have gone through, like I have in the last 16 years, the whole evolution of supplementation with glutathione. You know, you try glutathione itself, gets destroyed by the digestive process. Some of the precursors, cysteine, gets destroyed by the digestive process. We've used patches, we've used liposomals, we've used intravenous, we've used precursors, we've used everything, and nothing has come anywhere close to the results that we've seen since we started this amazing company. And that's why we have such an esteemed medical advisory board. So let's talk about this word glutathione. What is glutathione? Well, it's the key to life, health, performance, protection, and longevity of every human cell, right? Really important. Now, why haven't you heard of it? Well, funny, there's 180,000 studies. I think it's about 186,000 studies now, because these slides are a little old, versus, say, vitamin C we take for granted with 73,000 studies. In fact, Dean and I were talking about last night that it went up about 6,000 studies between our two presentations 6 weeks apart. So glutathione is one of the most studied molecules on the planet. So interesting, if you look at some of the experts, they say things like it's one of the most powerful antioxidants you've never heard of. It's the key to fighting off disease that you fear the most. It's called glutathione. Write it down, it's important. Dr. Katz says if you're chronically run down, if you're chronically fatigued, if your body's just not firing on all cylinders, glutathione might be part, the cause, or the effect. So as we age, and I'm 55, I know I don't look it, and that's thanks to supplementing with glutathione now for 13 years or 16 years, but I can tell you that your glutathione levels drop with age. So you can see this white line here, which says by mid-20s, your glutathione levels drop off 10 to 12% per decade. And as they drop, see this blue line? That's a scary one. That's oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is linked to about 70 to 80 different diseases. Glutathione is the first line of defense against oxidative stress. So higher levels of glutathione have been associated with so many benefits. For example, strengthened immune system, increased energy, enhanced stamina and endurance. Our athletes are going off the charts with these things. Improved exercise recovery times, greater mental clarity and focus, enhanced quality and length of life. Now, the problem is if you take glutathione orally, it's a fragile molecule and it will get destroyed via the digestive process when you swallow it, so rendering it virtually useless. In fact, even the precursors to glutathione, such as cysteine, has the same problem. Molecule size is another issue. Trying to get a glutathione molecule into a cell is like trying to drive a bus through a keyhole. It's a physical impossibility. And most other nutrition companies, their molecules are super huge. Even the liposomals, I might add, are way too big because the fats make them bigger. And short half-life. We were talking about this last night with Dean. He had an intravenous clinic for glutathione, and he says about 6 days after you've had an intravenous shot for about $200 to $300, it's gone. So it doesn't last very long either. So innovation. The solution from our perspective was what we created, invented, and got the investors for 6 years ago, which is hydrostat nanotechnology. Nano-sized particles protected by ultra-purified water molecules. That's a simplified way of explaining what we do. So a supplement's only as good as what's in it, but the bioavailability is the key. So a lot of companies out there, what they do is they get a traditional nutrition bottle and they go, okay, what we need to do, we need to pummel as much ingredient into this as possible, knowing that most goes down the toilet, hoping that some of it gets through to where it needs to be. Well, we took a very different approach than that, okay? So you'll see here a visual that makes perfect sense. Smaller absorbs, bigger does not. Let's talk about cell size. We nanosize our ingredients down to between 10 and 100 nanometers. Putting that in perspective, a human hair, which you can't even see on the screen, is 80 to 100,000 nanometers. So when they're small enough to be under 10, they're small enough to be absorbed into a cell. So if you're looking at other products in the market, It's not that we're better, we're just different. They cannot absorb into the same space. Doesn't matter what liposomal, what patch, what juice, what anything, nothing can absorb because their molecules are too big. So just different. So if you're talking traditional, say capsules, what happens is a cell's only absorb the section of molecule that it can touch. But this visual shows you by nanosizing, the surface contact area is expanded. And of course, we can get up to 200 times greater access to the cells than normal products can. Let's talk about the process itself. So we wrap our ingredients in water clusters. Okay, now liposomals, for example, use lipids. That's fats, and fats attract toxins, right? So it's a great concept, but older technology. When we're talking about using ultra-purified water molecules, which are purer than a hospital IV, you can see why your body loves that. No potential toxicity. So that led us to our first product we invented, which is called NutraSwish. It is cysteine, which is a glutathione precursor, in addition to glutathione. So you get an instant hit of glutathione. You also get L-cysteine, then curcumin, vitamin C, other ingredients, which will help glutathione do its job. Now, when I show you that, it's interesting. When you look at the price of this product, it's about half to a third of the price of every other product in the market in this space. The only ones that look like are a similar price is liposomals, but again, beware, A, old technology, B, you need one bottle for glutathione, one for curcumin, one for vitamin C, one for cysteine. So it's 4 times the price. So nothing comes close to the price or effectiveness of these breakthrough products. So what does the product do? Boost your immune system, joint support, cognitive health, clean, sustained energy, and rapid recovery. Now, don't take my word for it. I'm not an athlete, but this is a friend of mine from the Sunshine Coast who is, Natalie Jenkinson. She was the most skeptical friend I've ever known. And she said, you know what? I've tried everything, Michael, because she was an Olympic judo participant. She was also a 4 times women's boxing champion in Australia. She said nothing's ever worked. After one day, she said, I slept so well. If that was it, I was loving it. On day 13, she was training better than she had in her elite fighting years as she's aged, which is huge. Now, again, some people watch this and go, yeah, but I eat clean green veggies. I'm vegan. You don't understand. I've already detoxed. I've used every sort of detox process I've ever seen, Michael. I won't notice anything. Well, this guy's a vegan triathlete, and he says he immediately noticed the product was in his body. Amazing focus and brain clarity, and after 4 days had so much energy, he had a disinterest in coffee, and his speedy recovery was great as well. So off the charts results on that product. Let's talk about now Neumi Skin. Now, Neumi Skin's interesting. We're contacted by an amazing lady called Dr. Marina Perito in a company called Skinfluence in the USA. And she said, if you're taking those ingredients down to the size you are, you may not be aware of this, but the average skincare, only 0.03% absorbs past the first few layers of the skin because the particles are too big. So if you could take your concept, shrink hyaluronic acid, collagen, some other amino acids, in addition to glutathione, you'd have the greatest skincare in the world because it's going to get access where no one else does. So we took her advice, and of course, this helps reduce pore size, lifts and firms the skin, reduces the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, smooths skin texture, brightens and evens the skin tone, and fights pollutants. None of these photos have been edited. When I first saw this one, and I know this person as a personal friend, I said, Steve, you have to have edited that one of Sherry. Sherry looks even younger now than these 2 photos as she got old. She's in her mid-60s. It's amazing. You can see here 8 days with a beauty therapist or esthetician. You can see here Steve himself, the difference in the brightness and dullness of his skin. This is a young person clearing up their skin. This is somebody with a different culture. It doesn't matter what skin types. And again, let me eliminate one myth. Glutathione whitens your skin. No, it doesn't. It actually brightens your skin. So I've always been this pale, and you can see it hasn't turned this lady suddenly white either, right? It just brightens your skin. And of course, this is a great one because my friend in Australia, who is a skincare educator for many beauty therapists around the world, she said, I didn't see anything straight away. And then this is her client, and she compared a photograph 30 days apart, and she was blown away. Because you can see the difference in the wrinkles around the lips. You can see the pore size, the brightness in the skin versus the redness. But have a look at the neck. She didn't lose any weight. So it literally just tightened up that. And a lot of people talk about losing turkey necks and things like that is another example. Now let's segue to another product. We had such spectacular results with these 2 products, swishing and spraying, that we took the same hydrostat process and gone, let's get out of glutathione and get into other things, other proven ingredients. So this product is called HERS. It has a double-blind placebo-controlled test proving that 80% of women between 18 and 70 had spectacular results in women's health. This product is in such demand right now, it's phenomenal. So let me give you a bit of background. What does it do? Cramp relief, increased libido, minimized hot flashes, mood improvement, decreased bloating, hormone balance, improved sleep, all of those things, natural energy. Who wouldn't want these? For a complete ingredient list, go to our website. It's only available at this moment, this brand new product in USA, Canada, and Mexico. But look at the testimonials. Every time I had a hot flash, I swish and it stops. My body was no longer at war with itself, 32-year-old. First time in 6 years, I can sleep under my covers. These are the results, a whole stack of results from that double-blind placebo-controlled test, which was phenomenal. So we could have taken these products into the world in any way we wanted. And hey, we're partnered with what? The most respected person in direct response television infomercials worldwide. We could have just gone straight to the television. Steve spent millions on TV and he said, why don't we instead go into home-based business and put that money instead of advertising into the pockets of all of our members? So here are some stats for you. We all know something went around the world 4 years ago that put us all into lockdown and what have you. Well, guess what? It pushed this industry into a growth curve because people were looking for more options. During that time, we grew faster than most companies in the industry as well. And now these slides are outdated, 67 countries and over 150,000 members. Now, we don't believe in membership fees either, so we've scrapped them all together. But we give away heaps of stuff for free, which other companies charge for. Steve Scott isn't just a best-selling author. He wrote a program called Master Strategies of Super Achievers. And I say, if you want to be a millionaire, don't go ask your broke brother-in-law. Go and ask someone who is one. Now, Steve has a program you can purchase for $400. We get it for free. Again, be a product of the product. Amber Brown is our fit coach, a couple of $100 recording. You get access to that for free to keep you being a product of our product. And finally, we also noticed in the industry that some companies were charging for travel platforms and getting like 70 to 80% off their travel. We said, that's huge. A travel company came to us and said, you could sell this too. We said, we've got a better idea. Can we give it away? So we absorb the cost of the platform and we give it to the members for free, and they get exactly what they get in these other travel companies for free. No cost. So let's talk about tools. We don't believe in charging for tools either, Steve Scott. Let's give it away. He said, why would you charge for an app like other companies do when the members need it to build their business? So let's give it away. We have an app right now that will, if you send out, this presentation is on there right now with me presenting, funny enough. You can send that out to people, it goes for 24 minutes and they can be watching it. I'll tell you when they open it, when they finish watching it, if they watch it 10 times, all of that. Every tool you could possibly need right at your fingertips so you could be sitting on the beach building a business. We also have Facebook pages. You might see many Facebook pages and groups out there. All of them, unless they are these ones, are team specific for just the people in that team. But this is the Neumi New You Facebook group, which we have a link in there today saying we're live streaming on YouTube. But a lot of the recordings, testimonials, everything get dumped in there. So you can send people to that group and know that they're going to get compliant testimonials the company has approved. If you are Latin American, you can do exactly the same in the Latin American managed one by the company. This is the official one, okay? And then if you're a member, we also have a member page, which you want to be in. If you're not in that, you're missing out on some vital updates as well. We also have a guarantee as well, hassle-free subscriptions, no contracts. You can log in, log out, change it, cancel it, upgrade it, whatever you like. And if you don't like our product, you'll be making history. But if you don't like our product, there is a guarantee there, which I think in nearly 3 years I've seen used maybe once or twice, which is huge. Free product. Who doesn't like free product? Well, if you join with just 2 products and an essential kit, you'll save $30 from the retail price. As you purchase more product in bigger packs, you'll get more. For example, we give a 7th bottle of product for free when you're purchasing a quarterly pack, and more product, 12 bottles are in that one, and then more again. So discounted product, the bigger the pack you purchase. That gives me an opportunity now to talk about the compensation plan. Now, there is a longer presentation someone can send you from the app that goes through in a lot of detail. I'm just going to touch on the basics. First thing I want to point out, if you don't understand compensation plans, you won't understand the massive power of this. But we have a simple PV to US dollar ratio. Most companies say, oh yeah, we pay 50%. 50% of what? 50% of the BV. Oh, okay. Well, that means you're paying between 27 cents in the actual dollar, maybe 37 cents in the maximum that I've heard of. In our case, we're paying 55 cents of the actual dollar back to our members. Okay. between monthly and weekly commissions. On the weekly payouts, it starts this way. Anyone you introduce, the word sponsor is a industry term. Anyone you introduce or sponsor, you'll get 25%. So if they bought 2 products, $100, boom, you just got yourself $25. If they go on auto ship and keep buying for the next 10 years, bang, 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 you get paid every time. If, on the other hand, they joined as a member and they know I need more product on hand to grow my business, if they bought a $1,000 pack, you'll get $250. But here's the power. Who do they know that you don't know? This is why Steve went into home-based business. You don't get this in infomercials. Anyone they know might get exposed to, you'll get paid up to 6 levels further with 3% each generation. You immediately qualify for the first 3 levels, and then as you grow a bigger business, you qualify for the rest. So total payout on the weekly commissions is 43%. I might add, in total, including monthly, it's 55 in the payout. We do not include our incentive trips with that. I noticed one of the biggest companies in the world the other day quoted they pay 27%, and that includes their incentive trips, okay? Monthly payouts. So how's it work? The first thing is a roadmap. This is not your end game. This is not what you're looking to qualify for permanently. This is just a bonus to get your structure started. So we know that introducing 3 people isn't hard, okay? So introduce 3 people, and you'll initially, as soon as they become members and purchase 100 points in the second month of business, you can qualify for an extra $50 for that structure, okay? Then what do? We don't need you to be a superhero and go out and introduce 50 people. Just go out and introduce a couple more, and help those 3 to find 3. When you have step 2 in place, $250. You'll need to be a senior member. I'll talk about that in a minute. Step 3, help those 3 find 3, $1,500. In fact, if you want to build 2 power of 3, you could earn 3,000 with 6 teams, okay? Let's talk about these bonuses. Firstly, we have a uni level and an infinity bonus. So you automatically qualify 3 levels deep, 7% in the monthly commissions. But as soon as you rank advance to a higher rank, you can unlock 7 levels deep. And then we move into our leadership ranks and we'll pay you an infinity bonus. What's that mean? Well, from level 8 to infinity, we'll pay you 0.5%. As a diamond, that can add up to a maximum of 2,500 of that bonus on top of all the other bonuses. When it's double diamond, we double it. Triple diamond, it's 10,000 crowns, a maximum of 15. Absolutely huge. Now, this is just the infinity bonus, I might add. Now, this little diagram will show you how it works. Really simple. Like I said, go back and watch the longer version later. But as a member, you automatically qualify for 3 levels. To unlock level 4, grow your business to senior member with 1,500 turnover. Then, as it gets to 1 star, it's level 5, then 6 at 2 star, and then 7 levels at 3 star. And 3 star is the first rank where we have any structural needs, about duplicating at least 2 really good teams, okay? So pretty powerful stuff. Then we go to diamond, and that unlocks the infinity bonuses, and you can see how that grows as we go through each of these ranks, okay? Finally, a profit sharing bonus. I love this leadership pool. So 6% of global sales every month goes into a pool, and then we split it into 6 different funds, if you like, and we put them according to rank. So if you're a 2 star, you'll qualify with 1% of global sales every month with all the other 2 stars. Get to 3 star, you'll get another profit share right through to crown, and that's cumulative as well. I love this bonus because we're in 67 countries, and wherever you're watching from right now, you might not know people in 65 of those countries, yet you will be profit sharing in it anyway. So finally, as we wrap up, and I might add that was 23 minutes and 14 seconds without the introduction. If you are watching this first time around, please send a text message to the person right now and say, hey, I'm either A, ready to get started. Thanks for thinking of me. This is amazing. Or B, I want more information, and that's totally fine. There's enough videos in our app to drown you for 2 weeks while you do some research. Or C, I just want to try the product. And if you haven't used our products, even if you've used any other form of glutathione supplementation in the world, you haven't experienced the best yet. Time is now to try it. Ask the person, how do you get hold of some real quick? So as we wrap up, I want to thank you for attending today's presentation. This recording will be permanently on the YouTube channel. You can go use that now and send that out to other people if you like. And stay tuned because we're now live streaming onto the YouTube channel with all our events. So make sure you subscribe to that. And next week, the presenter at this time slot will be the amazing Keith Chazon, who just supported me kicking off the event. So I'll support him with that next week. Actually, no, I won't because I'll be overseas. But he'll do a magnificent job whether I'm here or not. So good morning,